Is there an app that you couldn't live without?
Many, traditionally, I was nearly going to tell you Canva or Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace, but actually it's an app called Flipboard. It's my #1 news curation app. And I realized that if it was to disappear or break, I'll be stuck because it's what I do for my social media, for my SEO, for my blogging. I even have a page where I've curated over the last 5 years, more than 2,000 articles. And if it was to disappear, I'll be very upset.
Who is your biggest inspiration and why?
Steven Spielberg, which I know is a surprise in the context of what we're talking about, but actually, if you think about it, is like the ultimate entrepreneur, is really find ways to engage audiences for a very long time. And indeed, when I talk about video marketing and more, we'll talk about the human side of storytelling, and I use many examples of his work, but also he's had many obstacles to overcome, very much like all businesses. And I think his story, but also the work kind of speaks for itself.
So if you could give one piece of advice to businesses about the digital world we live in today, what would it be?
Back to your point about living today, I would really go for the smallest number of technologies that can serve your needs. And I think there's so much to choose from. It's quite overwhelming, hence why we're doing those workshops, of course. But ultimately, it's not a quest for the biggest number of options. So find the smallest number of technologies and be the best at it. So whatever you have, 2, 3, 4, 5, just be the best at it and almost become an exemplar to follow.
So what is your greatest fear in business, and how do you overcome it?
The #1 is an empty order book. that's like all small business owners. And closely aligned would be giving the wrong advice. So what do I do about those two things? Well, actually, I'm a keen practitioner and I test and I research and I challenge all theories and new concepts, new platforms that come on board. And then I share my findings. So I can do that with my current customers. I can send an email. I can make a phone call if they're part of my A-listers. But I also share those findings on social media. And it seems to have worked well for me in terms of keeping on people's radar, but also being discovered by new customers and get a balance between the order book is looking okay and I'm still making sense.
How do you think digital will change moving forward?
It's going to be even more about showcasing a desire for a positive human experience. So yes, we're talking about using the tools all the time. Yes, we're talking about digitalization, transformation, all those wonderful labels. But ultimately, what a customer will want from you is a feeling, which I think is very important, that they're being well looked after by somebody who has thought about it, has given a lot of foresight and a lot of thought into how they're going to, really deliver a good service, as opposed to just automating everything and almost trying to circumvent human interaction. And my point would be just that, which is, if this pandemic has shown us anything, is that there is clearly a desire for meaningful human interaction. What wouldn't you as a business provide that to your customers?